How's everybody doing? So what I want to do in this clip here is just want to talk to you just a little bit about color theory and about how I achieve these terrain colors. Let me just show you a photo of and explain to you why I use photos like this. So here's a photo that I just basically Googled roadside ditches or cut banks and roads. I just try to describe a couple of the words that be descriptive in the search bar, and then go to Google Images and you'll get, you know, like hundreds and hundreds of images, you know, of your choice, you know. So you can see here that that's sort of the direction, like the color direction that I'm going there. And I just want to talk to you about how I achieve this kind of color. This will be static grass here, and then darker washes in here. But I've already shown how I achieve this through paper mache and then, you know, pinching in sands and gravels and then soaking down with water and then chasing with matte medium, you know, to make it hard. And then, as you know, I basically painted the whole, like after I just finished that particular method, I applied with this XF55 deck tan. I like to use deck tan for like this type of terrain anyway, and also buff. But I want to talk to you about a couple of colors that most painters or modelers, like in the hobby world, never even think of, okay? Like these are the colors that will always be there on the rack in your local hobby shop, and they've probably, some of them, been there for years. And I want to talk to you about how I employ these colors to get this kind of a hue, because what you're looking at here is a series of multiple filters, which are oftentimes difficult to show in a step process because they don't show on camera very well, because they're subtle filters sort of building up and almost like airbrushed glazes that dry really fast, because this is all acrylic, which is, I find acrylic is the best paint to do this kind of terrain painting, okay? But I want to just explain to you what I did and show you some of the colors I used to get to this, okay? Okay, so I explained to you that I used these. Well, where's my other, I have a buff here as well. Yeah, so I've mentioned this before, but I'll show you again. XF55 deck tan, XF57 buff. These are really awesome colors that I love to use for terrain and weathering, etc. And then there's earth, which is, see the, like the similarities like in the tones, see the earthy tones? Like I mentioned this about how important this is, like to not like think black, white, and then gray in the middle. I mean, that's a logical way to think from black to white with gray in the middle, but you want to be closer with your color shifts and tones. That's the key for, I think, for terrain, figure painting, and vehicle painting, when you think like that, where your color filters or shifts are closer together rather than just being black and white or gray, okay? So these are some of the base colors that I laid on just roughly, and then I just painted this over by hand with some matte medium, which is flat, like matte, and it just seals everything. And then I came in with these like Vallejo colors. Okay, so these Vallejo colors are basically like, you know, like here's an example, like dark earth, okay, 71.029. And then this is like a dark brown, 71.249, or actually NATO brown. It doesn't really matter, but you can see how they're very close, okay? But when you put them on the model, you'll see the distinction, all right? And then I really love this color too here, which is white's not normally a color, but because it's aged, it is. So this is almost a tan color, but it's called aged white, 71.132. It almost has a fleshy type tone to it. However, when you put it on, it looks more like this, see? Which is really a color that we take for granted, that like this is how I achieve it, through aged white, and then I'm going to show you how I finish the final filter on here. But that's the look that I want to achieve before, even if I, like it doesn't matter what I do here. This is important to get the base layers, you know, the substrates I call them, like to build up from, like, let's say clay base up. Like this would be almost down to like clay. It's been run on with tires and so on, tracks, probably a lot of farm equipment for so long. it gets that kind of color to it. And then all the looser gravel or texture in this case gets built up in the center and then on the shoulders of the road, okay? So that's a color that I really like to use. And then this one here, since I'm on Vallejo before I jump to the final filter, this is called Cement, which is really close to IDF gray sand, 71.131, but it's called, actually, sorry, Concrete. There's another gray derivative of this, which is called Cement. But I love this, like you can see this color in here, right? See that? And I just use water, I just spritz it down like I've done before, and I just stab in colors and move them around. And so when I get to this part, as I just described, these are where these two colors come in, where I just use them to make this color. Like, see that there? Okay, you can use either pink or purple. This one I probably used pink. I put some pink in, and then I just a brush dip it into that, just a bit of earth, and then some white to really tone it down, and then like 95% isopropyl alcohol in this. Like, it's so, like, let me just show you this in closing. Like, this is how your filter should look, okay? Watch, so I'll take a paintbrush and I'll dip it in, and then see it? It's still blue, isn't it? See that? See? Like, it's just, like, you can see it, like I can see it, like, you can see it a little bit on my hand there, or there's a spot there. That looks dark, but that's because it's wet. It won't dry like that. It'll be very, very transparent. And what I do is after I've get in most of my colors, is I take that incredibly thin, what I call mauve filter, which is in everything. Like, you may look at this, I'll show you this one more time. You may look at this photograph and I don't see mauve. Oh yes, it is. You can see the mauve. You can see the mauve filter even in the water. You can see it here through these tracks. This has almost a yellowy, desert yellow thin filter, but that's because of the light probably. But you can see it, and I find that when you apply that and then you just, like, it's just a light distance back of just very lightly applying it, you wouldn't see it. Like, this is what it would look like. But when it dries, because of the acrylic Tamiya, which I think is the best acrylic terrain paint on the market for the hobbyist, you'll get that mauve filter as I just described, and it really does look awesome. And then now you're ready to start pinching in static grass and other, like, foliage, you know, trees ultimately, and then of course enclosing your vehicle. And then you can pull up some of these same colors onto your vehicle to unify the whole piece, okay? So cheers, happy modeling, and I hope that you have a great day.